How's it going there, everybody? It's Mr. Sen over here bringing you guys a brand new Nanatsu no Taizai chapter discussion. And for today's segment, guys, we're going to be talking about is chapter 217, 218, and 219, folks. Yes, I'm 3 chapters behind, but don't worry. We're gonna talk a little bit and give a little brief synopsis, and I'll give you guys my opinion as to what's going on in all these 3 chapters. As I would say, 217 and 18, it could have been actually handled a little bit better in terms of like it could have been 1 chapter. Like honestly, 219 was more interesting as we got a little bit more development. But let's start with 217, folks. Of course, after we all know in 216 everybody came together, etc. Finally all the 7 members of the Deadly Sins are this is the first time in so many years that they actually been finally together in the Leonis Kingdom themselves. And it's so funny because Nabaka actually again gives us a slap to our faces and says, you know what, let me separate them once again. But this time we actually like these 3 whole entire chapters, it all revolves around Gowther. Yes, folks, Gowther himself was actually, it seems that he's the only one that hasn't really been training or hasn't gotten an exponential in growth of power, as it seems that Nabaka himself actually used this actual plot strategy in order to actually give more credit towards Gowther himself, as he's been away throughout the majority of the whole 10 Commandments arc itself, except besides being in the flashback arc. That was pretty interesting. But now we're in the present timeline that actually you can tell that Gowther really is a pivotal character in the sense that he's one of these characters that you cannot overlook, guys. Gowther is one that, even though he's always in the shadows, you cannot overlook. Same thing with Merlin too. It's so funny that the 7 Deadly Sins, it seems like they're very overpowered knights and mages, yet they're always freaking undermined by like the way that the villains are always introduced. Villains are always come in as a strong opposing force, but then all of a sudden, like I said, 7 Deadly Sins, they take them down. But chit about that. The thing about 217 and 218 is, like I said, Gowther, it seems that his memories were starting to actually recollect. And as you guys were all talking, and like you guys read as well, it seems that Gowther does not want to remember his past with the woman that he loves, and it just seems that Gowther is afraid of showing emotion or showing love again because he doesn't want to get his heart broken again. That actually, it made it very interesting as to why he wanted to run away. He was showing that emotional phase of himself. He's a doll, but with emotions. So does that mean that he's now being more and more closer to a human? That's what made it very interesting, in my opinion, as to what they're doing with Gowther. Because of that, Diana actually was the one to actually rescue freaking Gowther. It's very interesting, guys, like I said, because remember, she kept the promise for Gowther back in I believe in 3,000 years past, which I kind of still don't understand. I thought they were only going back to the past as a recollection of memories, not actually really traveling to the past. But I guess they really traveled to the past. I still don't get the gist of the time travel that Nabaka was actually trying to go for there. It's a little confusing, but I know where he's going with it. But some parts are confusing if you guys are understanding. But needless to say, like I said, Gowther ran away, and it was pretty sad seeing that, And it's funny because while he was running away, all the 7 Deadly Sins, they all thought it was like a game. They're like, all right, guys, we gotta, friend is in need, he's in trouble, so we gotta get on our backs, and we all gotta hustle and get him back. And it was so hilarious because they all dropped down from Leonis Kingdom Castle to chase down Gowther. Now, what I thought was actually interesting is the fact that it was showcasing, while Gowther was running away, they were showcasing the power levels of King and Diana. I believe Diana was already like at 15,000 or what, like something like 151. Doesn't matter. The point is, Diana's strength now comes off as the way she dances. That's how stronger she will become. It seems that training in the past, she was actually able to get a feel and adjust of how the giants actually use their magic. And it seems that the more they dance, the more magical power they're actually accumulating. So to them, it's kind of like adrenaline for them, because they love to fight and they love to assess their strength. Dancing and doing those kind of maneuvers is more like a magnet towards magic. Like, that's the way I kind of see as to what Diana's powers is actually heading towards too. And King's magic, I believe he was at 49,000 or 51,000 if I remember correctly. He was actually pretty interesting, strong, and it's funny because even Gowther took a jab at freaking King, and he said, "Oh, you've grown stronger. Is that the those little wings? Are those the cause of your power growth?" I died of laughter, and I'm just like, "Oh snap!" Like, he's half right. He's not necessarily wrong, but it's just the fact that King got frustrated when he heard those words, like just hearing that every single time. Honestly, I'm seeing those wings sprout every time. It's a great comic relief from Nabaka and stuff. Like, honestly, I love that every single time King shows his little itty bitty wings. It's so funny though. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Oh man, but we gotta move on, guys. We gotta move on. Like I said, in 218, they're showcasing this, and it seems that Diane actually was able to stop Gowther from erasing his own memories. Remember, it seems that like you could say this is what kind of got a little bit like kind of awkward and a little bit weird, guys. The fact that we see Diane basically pump up Gowther through vocal words and say, you don't have to erase your memories. Don't be afraid of love, blah blah blah, etc. etc. I'm here looking at it like, okay, and then all of a sudden Gowther's memories come back and boom, sudden power growth. That was actually, like I said, it was pretty awkward, but at the same time it's like, okay, so by him having his old memories of his old past self, he is then able to harness his true powers. Because if I remember correctly, Gowther's original, you could say his original owner of some sense, that's how he was. He was a strong magician, so he's technically remembering all the magic that he learned back in the past as a Ten Commandment. That's what I'm assuming where Nabaka Sensei was actually kind of heading towards too. Yeah, I'm trying to bring some logic in here, guys. So don't judge me, okay? That's what I'm kind of thinking of what Nabaka Sensei is trying to go with Gowther's character. But then, of course, 218 ends like that, with Gowther, of course, accepting his emotions. And we actually learned that the heart trinket that was given to him when he was back in the days, it seems that it was nothing more than just a simple trinket. It seemed that it was something that, like a momentum of some sorts. And honestly, it makes kind of sense, because even Merlin explained in the chapter that there's no such thing as heart magic when she tried studying it. Even Merlin was perplexed by that, and it was hilarious just seeing Merlin come out of nowhere and saying, okay, heart magic, okay. Like, it's just like that SpongeBob meme where, okay, heart magic exists. Like, honestly, that's hilarious, guys. But we gotta move on to the last chapter in 219. Like I said, back in 218, they actually, now that they're all together and they're all reconnected memories, and they all got their powers. In 219, it seems like they kind of brought down the ease in the action, and it seems more like it's more comic reliefs as it seems that they're all preparing for a war against Zeldris himself, because in 219 we see Vaughn and Meliodas fighting over some certain room. We see Elizabeth actually, I believe she was showcasing that she was sharing some qualities from her previous incarnate itself that a lot of people were actually noticing. And Vaughn's girlfriend was saying something, and honestly, what I was kind of like actually more interested in fact in chapter 219 was the bar scene with King, Gowther, and frickin' Escanor. Oh my god, that was freaking hilarious. That comic relief was needed, guys, because honestly, it shows that King is still showing some distrust towards Gowther, and he's not necessarily wrong to have distrust towards Gowther. It's more or less to say that because of Gowther's previous actions, he, like I said, King is just using his logic and saying, okay, he has a very powerful magic. He can alter memories and he can change a person's persona, for Pete's sake. That's a very powerful magic, and King has the right to actually to put him on a pedestal and say, okay, we have to watch out for you, man. You're a very dangerous person. regardlessly, man. Mind control, memory control, that in itself is a very powerful tool in any type of a trope anywhere. But I like how Nabaka actually downplayed that scene, as they were all technically drunk, as Esconar was he was drinking but not necessarily drunk, but King was so drunk that he was talking smack to Gowther, saying, I don't trust you, blah blah this, falls asleep on the table, and you see Gowther just having fun, saying, oh, okay, but you could tell he was reading his mind as to seeing what his true intentions were, and it seems that he was more or less, like I said, he was just being defensive. He wasn't really jabbing at Gowther. It was more of the fact that he was just wondering, like, okay, he's having conflicted thoughts towards Gowther. It's more or less to say that, like, he wants to trust him, but it's just he's having a hard time with that. But it's still funny, because what I personally found funny was the fact that we learn Esconar in chapter 219. We learn Esconar, folks. We learned that freaking Esconar has these magical glasses that can, if people knock it out, he turns back into his prideful form, that muscular beef chunky guy. And it was so hilarious, because they knock it out of Esconar, he turns into that, and he just knocks King in the freaking face, and Esconar has the nerve to say, oh, if you knock my glasses, no, I'll turn back into that form, but please don't tell King. I don't want him to remember this. I died of laughter in that scene, and of course, King showing off his little wings, half blood on the face. Hilarious scene. I'm not lying, guys. Freaking hilarious. I thought that scene was definitely needed for the tension that was going on with that bar scene that was involved there. Oh man, I freaking love Esconar every time he pops out. My favorite of the scenes. And also, Esconar in these chapters, he's always the last one everywhere. That's how he's kind of like the one. He's like Saitama in freaking Nanatsu no Taizai. He's always late to the show, but I bet you it's because he's the most powerful one. That's why he's always late. His tendency to become late is his actual weakness. That's the only reason why he gets defeated. Honest, that's the way I see it with Esconar. That's hilarious. But we gotta move on to the last topic that I do want to talk about, is the fact with Arthur. Merlin was looking for Arthur back in, I believe it was Camelot, and she was using like some kind of doll of some figure in order to look for him in Camelot. And we see Zeldris find this stone, saying, "Who the heck are you?" And it seems that he knew somebody was spying on them. Destroys the spy, and we see Merlin half blood, charred, and just like broken down. And we just kind of wonder, whoa, why is she looking for Arthur? Whoa, that means Arthur's gonna make another comeback. I can't wait to see Arthur come back, guys, because honestly, there are so many questions involved with Arthur that I really want to know what Nabox is going to do with Arthur. What kind of magic he possesses? What's that cat creature that he has on his shoulder that possesses that kind of ability that houses with Arthur himself? Like I said, so many questions arise from that. But that's it for today's segment, guys. Like I said, those are the 3 chapters that kind of consisted of the information of it. But my honest opinion, guys, 217 and 218, it could have been brought down to 1 chapter, honestly. Just the way that it was kind of going for. But still great chapters. But let me know down in the comments below, guys, as to what are you guys' thoughts on Nanatsu no Taizai, chapter 217, 18, and 19. What are you guys' thoughts on Arthur? What are you guys' thoughts on Esconar himself? And also, what are you guys' thoughts on freaking Zeldris? What kind of plans you guys think he's actually doing in order to actually defend himself against the 7 deadly sins? Because, you know, they're getting huge power-ups. Honestly, it's like Zeldris is like the final villain against everybody else. Like, oof, it's that intense, guys. It's getting intense in Nanatsu no Taizai. But like I said, let me know in the comments. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, don't forget to give a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Nanatsu no Taizai chapter discussions. And as always, I hope to see you guys in the next video. But peace out.